that's cute.
So rates, what's going on?
Okay.
We're
Chris,
fucked. We're fucked.
yeah.
Let's start this podcast with that.
That's
I'm
how we
actually
should start.
glad.
A
We should
good
all
way
go
to get
like
it
this.
demonetized immediately.
Is it
Exactly.
smart? Listen, guys, for real. And we got a realtor here and like two quasi-investors. Well, three
Oh,
quasi-investors and a realtor.
we're fine.
Walk into a bar.
Oh, yes.
I'm actually,
Instantly become best friends.
yeah, I'm actually happy that basically the house I bought is like the recent one was it's like a forced savings program right
Hell
now. I
yeah.
mean,
Hell
for
yeah.
the next year, there's no other way to look at it. And there's some tax benefit, I guess. But I'm happy when I hear, well, I'm happy with my decision
Me too.
because I think when I hear rates keep going up, but the prices are actually going up as well because of
Somehow.
inflation. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's actually happening because normally when rates go up, at some point the market has to correct and prices go
Right.
down, but that's not happening right now.
Right.
And so why?
Yeah, the last 3 years. I mean, I think that there is a lot that goes into it. I think the short, so that would be, yeah, the short answer. Another short answer would be, well, our inventory is so low, so people
Still?
somehow, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well, in Cal, in Southern California, but it's still in most of America. Inventory is lower. It is creeping up,
mm.
but it's still low. Most buyers don't have 30 homes to choose from. They might have one or two. Again, every market's a little different. If I just focus on Southern California, Orange County, our inventory, we normally have like you hear me say it 100 times. Here, I'll tell you what it is this morning. But we normally have in Orange County at any given time for residential, 7,000 homes on the market. Right now,
7,000
7,000 in Orange
in
County.
Orange
Right?
County. That's not a lot at all.
That's
Orange
normal.
County has 4 million people living there.
Right now, today, there's 2,600 homes for sale.
So it's even
So,
okay,
yeah,
wow.
so it's
Can you
dramatically
look at
low.
homes or apartments for rent right now? How
No.
many? No, you
Well,
can't.
not apartments, but I can say private, like what we own, privately owned properties for rent. I can pull that. Like,
Well, what
I
about
don't
like
actually,
Irvine Company and like those big,
I couldn't
block?
pull that.
No?
No, that would be
Okay.
somebody else. Somebody else
I'd be
might need to
curious
do
in
that.
that data combined with the
That's a
data
good,
you just told me,
yeah, I think you're right.
because that would indicate a shift. Like maybe Orange County is no longer a place where families move to start a family. Like maybe that's become a young worker place, and I don't know, like Riverside has become the new place where you go and build a family.
Well, is
That
just
is happening.
that segue. So there's a house, horrible location in my opinion, but
In the
in my
ghetto.
no, it's in my neighborhood.
Ah,
Ghetto.
It's just on two busy roads, right? The front road is the entrance road, and the
Mm.
backyard is the absolute main road for the entire area.
okay. So
So
more
it's just a
noisy
whole,
and
yeah, horrible location in my opinion. I wouldn't buy that house, but it's
wow.
the exact same layout as my house, same amount of property, has a pool just like I do, and it sold for 1.15, and it sold like four times in 2 months. So
So
for
that means yours would be
whatever
like 1.3 or something.
reason, the deals kept falling through, and immediately a new person bought it. They sold it four times in 2 months.
Did they move
Damn.
in? Like, is it a primary owner
Yeah, it's
occupied?
done now. It went through.
But is it a
It
Like it
owner
finally
officially
occupied?
finalized.
closed.
Was it an owner occupied or is it like a foreign investor or something
I
like
have
that?
no idea who bought it.
Let's go knock on their door, man. What the hell's wrong with
Yeah,
you?
sure. Hey, I'm here to learn your business.
I'm here to learn who you are. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
So point being,
How do
yeah,
you have your
that could be
money?
possible.
Can you get them on the pod?
Yeah, right.
We're all fine.
Why did you buy this home, sir, madam?
But going back,
Yeah.
so Dan, going back to what
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
you were,
understand the market because even here in Yuma, like where I live, I mean, Yuma has never been, and yeah, it's growing, but it's not growing like at the rate of like Orange County or anything, but it's growing. Uh, Prices are high here, like Granted, I'm in one of the better neighborhoods in the city, but they're going for like 600 to 700K now. And
God
there's some
dang.
like a few blocks down where they're like more custom home. They're going for 800 to 1 million. And so, I mean, prices are just unaffordable in most places, I would think. And even in Yuma, like in the regular part of town, they're like 250 to 500K for like small, either a townhome or like a starter home. It's not like it's affordable anywhere.
So
And
you just to
That's true.
demonstrate the point, your home that you currently are living in and the new home that you're going to be moving into,
yeah,
they're approximately the same, right?
approximately.
And you paid like 4.25 for the house you live in, and you paid like 6.75.
No, I paid 398 for the one I
No
live in.
way.
Yeah, at a 3.1 rate. And the
No
one next door
way.
is 598 at a
So
7,
two
6.7 something
4 to
rate.
so that's
6.
200K in
4
how
to
many
6.
years?
3
4
years.
years?
3
3
years.
years. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
good
50%
job on your
increase.
first purchase.
Well,
That's
thank you, man.
I think that's
Fit,
that's
fit,
great.
but that's a 50% increase in 3 years.
Right. That's why I sent you guys that
Yeah.
meme. Me thinking I'm a good real estate investor and then
Right,
inflation.
yeah. Well, me too.
Like, it had
Yeah.
nothing to do with me. I just bought it.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's as simple as investment should be. Like,
Well,
especially an asset class like real estate.
so there's flip arguments to that as well, right? So right now it's at the all-time high price. There is no time in history that the prices have been higher for the United States for housing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
considering inflation, right? In 2007, it was like 6.8 times. I sent you a link yesterday, Dan. I don't know if you looked at it, but it shows.
Yeah, a lot of good fear porn.
Yeah, it was so in 1953 the housing market crashed, and that was at the time the highest it had ever been, and that was 6.3, right? So the house was your average home price in America was 6.3 times the average income.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen again until 2007, right? It consistently stayed in the 3 to 5 range, 3 to 5 times the average income in America until 2007, when it hit 6.8. Housing market crashed. Right now, it's like at 7.3 or 4, right? The
Yeah.
average income. So,
I think
that
people are.
well, the flip side to that would be, does that predicate a housing crash? And the argument is there for two instances. I don't know if it does though, because there's inflation.
Yeah.
The only similar time would be in the 70s.
And this goes for, like, I know home ownership now is slightly more expensive than renting. I read an article recently on that where usually they're pretty comparable. Um, Home ownership is more expensive than renting now. And
Mhm.
so there's a couple of indicators to suggest like maybe it's not the best time to buy, but like if we have this crash up, what are you gonna do? Like you have to own assets. There's
Mhm.
no other. I mean, it doesn't
I
have to be
know.
real estate, but in my case, it made sense to buy it because I wanted to have the house next door also and Airbnb one of them and all kinds of stuff. Like I've been wanting to do that for a while, but I think just assets in general, you should be owning in this period and
So,
holding them long
sorry.
term.
So I agree and
100%.
disagree at the same time. Um,
That's not possible.
no, it is possible. I think you should be equally divested in some sort of cash equivalent.
Yeah.
And because just in case it plays out as prior history has, right? You
Right.
need to be able to take advantage of that
Yeah,
situation.
you want dry powder. No, I'm not saying not to have dry powder. No.
But you also, in case, like you're saying, which I think is just as likely, this does not end, right? That just
Right.
assets keep increasing in value, and there is no
It
reset.
has to happen like that.
Well, it doesn't.
It will always forever.
No, Joey, it doesn't.
No, he's saying like long term, like just
Correct.
No,
your
I'm saying
lifetime.
short term. I understand what
I
Joey's
don't care
saying.
about short term.
Well, you should.
I could give two shits about
Well,
short term.
so let me.
How's that?
Woo, woo.
Well, Well,
This system,
then you're not taking advantage of a situation. So
Joey
who
with the hot
cares?
take.
Who cares?
so
So
I
what? So you get a 5 or 10 or
no.
15% little discount.
No,
Who
it's not like that,
cares?
Joey.
For the
So
long term, the system will always go up. Stocks, real estate will
so
always forever.
so in 1929, if you would have bought stock at that time or a house, it took you 33 years to get your money break even. 33 years. Okay.
I know
If you did that again in
I'm not
1953, it's the
I'm not
same.
disagreeing with you. I'm just saying everybody should rest assured that stocks and real estate will always and forever go up because the system is created to go that way.
So I don't disagree, but
If Let me
the
finish.
no,
If
go ahead.
it Please. If
Wow,
please,
heated
Daddy.
debate. Heated debate.
If it doesn't, then nobody would ever buy real estate, which would crash the entire economy, or put their money into a 401k or stocks, which would also crash the whole world. So the system will always be long term real estate and hard assets, and stocks and private equity, and even
I don't
probably
disagree.
precious metals will always go up. So I think everybody should calm the F down, know that. And then if you can, I'm not disagreeing that markets go down. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that they don't stay down. And generally it's a short down.
But you're missing my point, right? What I'm saying is you should be equally invested, have some dry powder, but also be protected if the market should continue to rise, right?
I,
You
I
don't want to
think you for
miss.
sure should have some dry powder, but I mean the richest people in the world are not divested.
That's not
They're not
true.
diverse.
That's
Andrew
not true.
Carnegie,
Okay,
Elon Musk.
Warren Buffett, he has 320
Okay, he's
billion in
one.
cash. There's many of them that
Yeah,
do. A report just came out.
that's only 10% or 15% of his overall holdings.
No, it's
That's actually
25. It's 25.
okay. So then recently, okay, 20, but 25% is in cash.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
not
think you guys,
that's not that much.
It's
I think
actually
you
quite a
guys
bit
are,
significant because he had 20% in 2007.
yeah, I think you guys are
Right.
pointing to the like
So it went up 5%.
how leveraged people
I
are.
think you're missing the point, Joy.
Well, I think the point both
I
of you
don't
are
think
making
so.
is like how leveraged people are willing to get, like how cash poor. And as you get older, you are supposed to keep more dry powder around. But in your earlier years, you're supposed to keep less because theoretically you can make it back should something happen. So, like, there's a case that what both you guys are saying is correct. And all those guys you mentioned have done similar things. Like, in their early years, Warren Buffett was not like cash hoarding, he was all
Very
in on
true.
stuff. As he got older, yeah, he's
He's
getting.
90, what? Yeah.
Well,
You
he's
know,
Three, I
yeah.
think.
And Charlie Munger
nobody
just passed
should,
away at 99. His book's right here. Is a really good book too.
yeah, nobody should be taking and seeing what Warren Buffett's doing today and apply that to their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Nobody ever should be doing that. But even he's in the extremely end of no, who's working at 90 something. Okay, but he is. And he has
Is a
25% in
boss.
cash. That's nothing for someone as conservative as Warren Buffett. But right, when he was even, look at yeah, Dave Ramsey, even him. I mean, he was so risky,
Dave
um,
Ramsey's not
but
risky. He's way too conservative.
Yeah, well,
no,
he
no,
was
no.
making fun of
He
Bitcoin.
was risky way when he first. That's how we went belly up,
Mhm.
And then then he just was, because he's a hillbilly. He just decided to go, oh, let's just do the opposite. So and that's what he did.
Bitcoin.
Um,
We don't want Bitcoin.
but yeah, I'm not disagreeing that anybody shouldn't have cash, by any means.
No, it's always smart
Um,
to have cash on
but you should have
hand.
the
But
cash to buy more I mean, that's just what I think that's kind of what we're all, for the most part, we're all doing,
well, and we're all at that age where, I mean, plus or minus 15 years, where you're like in that twilight of you still should be all in, but you need to start thinking about being more conservative too as you get older. So
Yeah,
yeah, like when I hear
yeah,
advice like that too, I'm like, well, I'm not sure what I actually should do. And it always comes down to what do I have conviction in? What am I willing to lose? Did I actually study it? Um,
right, for
like
sure.
I'm all in on this biotech. I've studied it really well for like 2 years. I'm poking holes in it. It's down a lot. I'm not down that much, but it's down a lot. Like this year, it's down like, or in the last 6 months, it's down like 60%. If I wasn't this convicted, I would have sold at a loss. But instead, I know the fundamentals haven't changed. I know there's a lot of catalysts coming this year. I should be able to 2-3x at least my investment. And if not, I know what the floor is too, and it's not zero. But you won't know those kind of things for random investments unless you study them, you have conviction. Otherwise, yeah, like Chris, the safest thing to do is like put it in like a basket of things and have a bucket for cash. That's the way to do it. Like when you don't study things also is just
100%.
play the odds, right? Like play
100%.
play the odds. But if you actually study things and you feel you may have an advantage, I'm not against going all in either, but I may definitely change my mind 10 years from now on that
For sure.
strategy.
Yeah.
So I think there's
But
truth to both of you guys what you're saying. And you're probably saying the same thing
we're
actually.
saying the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're literally saying the same thing. But Dan, what you were saying about, you know, buying, yeah, that other property. And, I have like many clients that are doing that, where they're kind of breaking even or it might kind of cost them a little bit of money now. But, if you're a high income earner and you're looking, you have cash, you have other resources, you're not scraping by to buy food and, pay rent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think what you did is a great investment. And I have like 4 or 5 clients doing this right now,
Yeah.
where they're
And I didn't
buying
I
a
didn't
rental.
study like I just talked about that biotech. I didn't study the real estate market to that extent. I go
Mm.
by history like okay, I've done well even on the properties I haven't done well in the short term in the even 10 years. If I hold it long enough, I've done well.
Exactly.
And another thing
Exactly.
we talked about this last year, the first time I heard that you will own nothing and be happy.
Mm.
I knew they were actually talking about like Uber and nobody's like gonna own a car because everyone's ride sharing. But if you take that thread further into the conspiracy lanes, which it's
We
likely,
love that.
yeah, there is a cohort of people that don't want you to own assets because they want you to control on the state.
Yeah. They want you
And
to rent.
right. And so that's enough conviction for me as far as real estate.
Exactly, man. Yeah, and like, you see Blackstone. Why do you think all these in the last 15 years, Blackstone and all these huge private equity, are going like not all in, but like it's either Blackstone or BlackRock. Over a third of their whole portfolio, that's like $1 trillion, is in some sort of real estate, like
I
like
think it's
group.
BlackRock. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I mean that's significant, for private equity to,
Right.
so it's like
But
there's,
now that foreign investments, now with
mm,
Trump and the Biosecure Act and all this
huge.
stuff, like, yeah, wasn't there, weren't they saying something about, and I don't know if they can actually legally do this. I guess you can when you're running the country. China owns a bunch of forest
Oh,
land
right
or
by the
wildlife land in the U.S. and Trump
it's
said
like
he's
right
just
by
gonna,
bases. Yeah,
yeah, and
that
Trump said
actually is true.
he's gonna force them to sell or just take it. Is that even? I'm guessing he would be allowed to do that, but is there any legal
That's,
precedent for this?
I don't. Yeah.
Attorney Chris, do you have any? Is Trump allowed to take private land from China that they bought?
Well, I
Private
mean, there
Chinese
is a
investors.
thing called eminent domain, but I have no idea how to, how that, like the rules and regulations of that.
Yeah, I have no idea what the legal status is Panama. I know we owned it until like 79
Hmm.
and Jimmy Carter gave it back to Panama. Um,
Happy
but
National Mourning Day, by the way. I didn't even know that
which
was a thing.
which yeah, right.
I
Let's
woke
all
up to
Which
stop
check my
working.
stock price. I'm
Stop
like, what the
working,
hell's going on? The fires shut down the market.
dude.
Okay, there's another topic related to this, and it's as we move away from industrialization towards information, do you think cities will be less important? Trump and his administration
Hmm.
have said they want to build like mega hubs where there's no city right now, like places like Montana, Iowa, some
Cool.
places in Arizona, make them like real high tech. Do we still need large cities? Like, I don't feel like people go to downtown anymore and like clock in and clock out. do we, and this is kind of how the suburbs evolved, but now the
right?
exurbs, right? Like even the suburbs are like become cities in a way. Like
Yeah,
Irvine
that's
became
right.
like its own city. What about
Yeah.
like the
There's high
exurbs?
rises in Irvine. Yeah.
Yeah, so then what do people do? They go to like RSM or they go even further out to like, east, like Indio and places like that. So,
Yeah.
and work from home. So
Yeah.
what does that do to real estate prices? Like, I mean, the over a 30-year period, like if this trend
Mm,
continues, what's the value of having a house in like a high density place? Is there still going to be value in that? I don't
yeah.
have an
I
answer.
mean,
I mean,
good.
culturally maybe, or like it for entertainments, like seems like the sports teams always play in like the big market, right? High density places. But like besides going to a game or watching a concert or something, like what's the value or like I guess good restaurants, but what's the
So,
value of
and
that?
maybe that's what, I mean, 30 years. Yeah. I mean, I guess a lot could change in 30 years,
Yeah, imagine
but
2055.
yeah, but I think I mean, kind of like one of the reasons why I moved to Southern California. There's more now. I don't like the downtown LA. I do not like that. I don't want to be anywhere near
Do you
there.
like downtown Anaheim or Santa Ana or like
Orange County and being close to the coast, and I mean there's a lot coming from out of state, and Chris and I are from a similar area up in Washington
Washingtonians?
State.
Yeah, what's there to
There's
do there?
just
Collect rain?
yeah, yes. Now
Yes.
those areas are becoming a little bit more like my where I grew up in Lake Stevens. I mean, the population has like I think it's 5x, and there is a little bit more to do there. But overall, Southern California does definitely have a draw, weather, a lot more things to do. And it just depends on, I think, people have different needs and desires. Like other people do like to be in the city, LA or New York.
But do you
Some
think that
people like to be,
continues? Like Chris, your kids are
well,
old,
I
right?
I
Like
think
older.
I
Do they
think
like
so.
it? Well, like Charlie and Corey, do they actually like when you go to, because you live in the suburbs, but like when you go to downtown LA or like a big like high density like downtown San Diego or something, do they like that or do they prefer to just be in the suburbs?
So my son who drives, he pretty much it's just whatever his friends want to do. He has no desire necessarily to be in LA. I mean, he's been a few times, but it's not like where he's continuously there. I mean, kids
Yeah,
now,
something's
it's
changing, man, and we're not even talking like VR and like gaming. Like
no. That is a big part of it because
I
like he'll
know,
take his Xbox over to his friends, right? And they'll just hang out together and play Xbox. So it's like, why
right?
even go over there? You could do it. You could stay at home and do that with him.
But extend that further, like why even live in this neighborhood? Are you just on the TV all day, like in this box? Like pretty soon everything's gonna come to your doorstep. Why do you need to be in
Kind
like
of
a
already
higher
is.
price? Yeah, why be in a higher price city besides like
Well,
safe
see,
and
I
stuff like
think
Family.
I would think it'd actually be the reverse of that, honestly,
hmm.
because if why be in a suburb, right? You could be in the city where you don't even need a car. You can get to what you want. You're just going to sit in your home anyhow. It's not like you need to go explore new areas, have a big yard.
Hmm.
You're just
Hmm.
in front of your TV. I mean, I'm just extrapolating from your argument
I
that
guess it just basically boils down to
Hmm.
crime in schools and
Yeah.
you know.
that's
Well,
my
and
that's
people's
my main
family. I mean,
consideration.
like what, like you're in Yuma, Dan, because of. I mean, if there was no correlation to Yuma, you wouldn't be there.
Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't have started
See?
the business
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
wouldn't
So I think
I
like
wouldn't have.
community, family. I mean, literally, this
Now, it
goes
might
back
be in
to
Tucson,
biblical
which is
times. I hate to say this, but just like family and like where, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's not always the desire. But I'm sure, yeah, Chris's kid, it's like, yeah, well, we live over here,
interesting.
we're just
Okay.
staying there,
So what you're saying is the big cities already have a brand. Like you could be in like West Buttfuck, Montana and have dreams of being in LA or San Diego, but you're not gonna have the opposite of like growing up in San Diego and be like, yeah, I want to be in West Buttfuck, Montana one day.
Well, no, I'm sure some
No,
people do.
sometimes, yeah. Yeah. No,
Well,
for
which is more
sure.
common though, and which will be more
Well,
common 30 years from now?
I think
probably the latter,
I think the
I
younger
think.
you are, the more likely you are to want to move to a populated area.
And do you think that's always
I
going to be
don't
the
think
case?
so.
Hmm.
Do you think that will always be the case?
Well, who comes to Hollywood to be a star? Old grandma or young Cindy in her 19, 18, 20
Well,
years
that's
of
that's
age?
only one area though.
And
The-
that's
You know
Well,
what
one
I'm saying?
era. That's one
but
era too.
but
Like no one comes to Hollywood anymore to be a star. They do it on YouTube now.
if you go to, like, for example, you go to Reddit and you read, like, because I'm considering moving to somewhere that's a lot less populated.
Right.
And if you look, all young people are saying there's nothing to do here. I want to move to the city,
Hmm.
right?
Well, I guess it depends on what age is young. Yeah, 18 to 21, 22, 23. Yeah. But I mean, I think that I guess I have a lot of clients that are in their 30s, and yeah, they're, they
Old
don't
ass
want to
muff.
be. It's kind of the opposite. They want to be in the suburbs, or they want to move. They've been in California their whole life, and they want to move to Texas or Idaho or Washington. I have clients in like Colorado, Utah,
Mhm.
so I guess it just depends. I think the good thing is everybody should have a choice. I do think the big cities are going to be around. I think
Well,
that
everyone does have a
other,
choice, and like this
yeah,
affordability thing is pushing people out of the cities. It's
exactly.
almost giving them
Yeah,
no choice to be in the city unless you want to
that's
be a
very
renter.
true.
But
That's
hasn't it
very
always
true.
been true?
I don't
Drive
know.
east,
I mean,
right? Wasn't that
affordability.
wasn't
Yeah,
that
drive to
the
qualify. Drive to
drive
qualify.
east till you qualify?
I like that. Oh, that's
You never
funny.
heard that, man?
Drive.
That's a realtor thing.
No,
That's a
dude,
SoCal
I'm
realtor
gonna
thing.
make a video about that.
Drive till you
Drive until
drive.
you
This
qualify.
was in '07 when I bought like my first house. I
Oh,
used to go to all
bro.
these like real estate seminars. Actually,
Hell
earlier,
yeah.
like '06, and the
Dude, good
people
for
there
you.
were like, "Hey, you can't afford in LA, Orange County? Doesn't matter. Drive till you qualify." And so you just keep going
That's
east
awesome.
until you did.
Yeah.
But that kind
And
of
I think it,
rhetoric
it
is
keeps
kind
going.
of
That's
what
gonna keep going. Yeah.
Right, but that rhetoric itself ended up contributing to the bubble bursting. But this
Yeah.
time is different. Things can be similar, but not be identical every
Well,
time.
didn't the bubble burst in because in that area, because I was in college at Biola, and I went to a couple of real estate seminars because I was interested in real estate. I
Mm,
had no idea what to do. I didn't have $5 to rub together. And that was probably 2007 or 2008, 9,
mm-hmm.
but I think it was people that really couldn't qualify or this is one indicator. People that couldn't qualify, there was no verification of income
Right.
or employment, I think it was, and they just got a loan because you said you made a certain amount of
But
money.
see, if you compare
That's
that,
crazy.
because this is how we started the show with. So
Hmm,
if you
okay.
compare that period in time, '06 through '08, let's say, like prime right before the bubble burst.
Seven.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say like '05 to '07. Compared to like let's go 21 till now, or let's go 23 to 25. There's not an appetite amongst many people to buy houses, like
So
from what I'm seeing.
the
Wait, from 2000,
Like if you
what was
compare
the date
'05
range?
to '07,
so
where like
the
everyone and their mama liar loan
Okay,
just buy
yeah.
a
okay.
house, compared to today, no one's
So
really wanting. There's not an appetite really.
there's a different dynamic at play, right? So there's two things. One, in that time period, everyone was espousing the message: housing prices only go up, right?
Right.
That's it. That's everyone was saying that, right? And secondly, just like you said, the liar loans. I just actually looked this up today. Back in that time, ARMs were huge. They
Yes.
Somewhere around 40% of all home
Yeah,
loans were
you're right.
ARMs at that time.
My
That's
first
And
one
right.
was the ARM. Yep.
when those things, I forget what the term
Yeah,
is, when they went
like they
to,
came up. Yeah, when they
right,
expired,
right, when they expired and you had to refi at
they
this
couldn't.
incredible rate, they couldn't afford it. So
But their
what?
payment doubled
Right, they couldn't afford it
because they
because,
couldn't
Doubled.
refinance down.
right.
Right.
So that's what caused
Yeah,
that
that's an
crash, was
issue,
those
man.
40% of
It
ARMs
happened in
plus
Yeah,
all the liar loans.
it happened in
yeah.
So that's what caused that crash. Right now, they say it's like 3% of loans are ARMs. So you're in a totally different dynamic
Yeah,
right
I
now.
almost never have a client do an ARM
And you
because
also
the
don't
30
have the
year is very close to that percentage. So like what you're gonna
Right.
get a 5-year ARM for 1/4% when you can get a
Check out
30-year?
my loan I had
Why
on
would
Well,
you
my
do
on
that?
my Anaheim house. I had a 5-year interest only.
I
So
like
I
that.
was
No,
dope. I was like, this is
I was
sick. It was
dope.
so cheap. So from '07 till 2012, I was living the dream. I didn't care the bubble burst. But then my payment started doubling and tripling. And
Yeah.
so after that 5-year interest only, it was a 5-year adjustable every
Yes.
year.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's when
every
I was getting
month
nervous.
probably.
No, no,
Yeah.
every year. Every year they sent
Oh,
me, this is what you're gonna pay
okay.
next year. This
I
and for
see.
I did that for like 2, 3 years, and I was like, fuck, I need a
Did you try
refund.
to refinance? Or and could you not, or you just
I
didn't make
tried
it a
to
priority?
refi and I couldn't until
Okay.
COVID. And in COVID, and so I got lucky because rates went low anyways after they adjusted.
Oh, so it did write down.
It wrote down after my
So
the
you didn't refinance
until
the
COVID.
one in Orange County
Until
until
COVID,
COVID
which I
when you
got
and I were talking about with
yeah,
Quicken?
2.75. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
But like
Okay.
I would have been trapped too if it wasn't a 5-year interest only. They put me in a
Got
ten
it.
year a
Yeah,
10
you would have been
year.
probably fine. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Interesting.
So it's just and I wasn't smart. I just took the first one they gave
Dude,
me.
you were young and you're just trying to get into real
Yeah,
estate.
I was like, all
Yeah.
right, whatever, We'll worry about 5 years later. When you're 25, 5 years is like 1/5 of your life. Like,
Right, right,
you know?
right, right. No, it feels like 25. Yeah, it really
Exactly.
does.
Whereas now 5 years is like a lot,
But
that's
no,
like
Chris, you
tomorrow.
make a good point. You have the liar loans, and then because I remember getting into real estate in 2012 as a realtor, and I had some clients where they like literally were still losing their house because they couldn't refinance, their arm adjusted, and then it went to whatever it was, and they went from a 2,000 to a 6,000 or $5,500 payment and for the same house, and so people just walked. That's unfortunate.
well,
But yeah,
there was
definitely different times.
yeah, and there was other dynamics at play as well. I mean, media was always toting the logic that hey, you could buy this house and flip it. Look at this person did it. So there's a lot of flippers, and
Yeah.
they were qualifying through liar loans. And when that all started collapsing
Hey, don't call me that, man.
in the really overvalued areas, Southern California, Las Vegas, they fell by 50% or more,
Yeah.
the home values. And then across the nation, I think it was like 33%, somewhere in that realm, the average home price
I think
fell.
Orange County was like 30%. Riverside, what I think
It was
Riverside
brutal,
County
man.
was really, really bad.
It
I
was
think
Yeah,
that was
there
like
was
50
there,
or something percent.
yeah, even on the coast, it fell by like a third, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, about 30%. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, that's what happens again when the dynamics change. And I don't know that we're in that situation now because again, there's only like 3% of arms opposed
Yeah,
to
like people are not
40%.
rushing to buy homes right now. They're like,
Well, I think because
well,
it
maybe I'll
doesn't
rent,
financially
you
make
know?
sense for the average consumer. I agree but disagree. I'm going to pull a Chris. I agree but disagree.
It's
I
impossible.
agree that it's similar, but people do. This is where I disagree. They do have the desire to buy, but they don't because the payment sucks.
Well,
Yeah,
It's too.
but
it's
there's another important thing we didn't bring up today versus '05. Younger people, like the ambitious ones, let's say under 30, let's say 35 and under,
The
like
ambitious
the
ones, the
ambitious like
chosen ones.
youngsters, right?
Okay.
Back then, there was first of all, there was no Robin Hood. You wanted to buy stocks, you had to like kind of be a
Dude,
nerd and find a
seriously.
website,
Yeah.
right? There was no Robin Hood, pull out your phone and like fucking do it easy.
and
There was
sometimes you
no
even had to
crypto.
pay for a trade back then.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Dang, man.
There
Up
was
until
no
like five
crypto.
years ago.
Yeah, there was
Gosh.
no crypto. There was none of these
Okay.
like alternative asset classes that we have now
When
that
do we
have
not have to
proven.
pay for crypto? That's what I want to know. But anyhow, go on. Sorry.
Right
Yeah, I mean,
now.
well,
Right now.
but like
No,
so all
everything charges a fee for crypto. Sorry.
yeah, they do.
Not
But
Robinhood.
like back then, the only asset class you can get into, I mean, if you knew how to do stocks, you kind of had to know how to do it,
Yeah.
was real estate. And today
Yeah.
you have a lot more opportunity. Like there are multi-millionaires that are renting because they're like crypto millionaires.
I have
They're
seen that.
they're meme stock millionaires, but they're renting, and it's not a small cohort. It's
You're
like a
right.
pretty big
They
cohort of
almost
people.
look that owning real estate is stupid.
It's
Yeah,
like a
and I'm
handicap.
I'm
Yeah.
confused by that, but I mean, they obviously I'm a real estate guy naturally, so I'm going to be confused by that. But it's incredible to me that
Yeah,
there are some that they talk really bad about real estate, and oh hey, they made their money and they're okay,
right.
that's fine.
So
But
you would
crypto
think
does go
that
up and down dramatically.
right, but you would think the absence of them as a market to buy real estate would drive up supply. But you're saying it's actually the opposite. Like supply is it's hard to get. So it's like we don't
I
need these
think,
people to buy real estate.
well, not today. I think we might actually have a issue if inventory levels for houses goes to normal rates, normal levels. That could and rates stay at 7%, 6.5,
Hmm,
7%. Dude, that could be an issue. Because we don't have it. It is true. We don't have the demand that we have had in normal markets. The only reason why we're in this is because inventory is three times less.
gotcha.
So
So maybe it's the low inventory causing prices to
And
keep
that's not
going
going
up.
to change,
you
in my
don't think
opinion.
so?
But go
No,
Okay,
forward.
because why would you step out of 3.25 loan into an
exactly.
8% loan?
You're right. And it's not like they're tripling the amount of houses they're building.
No.
Yeah. So
Housing,
so
the only way that changes is if housing prices fall.
yeah, but what's going to make that happen if inventory is low?
That's I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I don't
There's
think it
arguments
could.
for, but those arguments for both, right? So
Prices have never gone down with low inventory.
no, I don't deny that. I don't. Well, I don't know if that's true, but
It
I
is.
don't doubt that. What I'm saying though is where the housing prices are right now, it's the highest it's ever been. Period.
100%. But just as an example, in
Mm,
2007, and like before the actual like real estate crash,
Hmm.
Orange County inventory levels were in the normal levels of 7,000 homes on the market. Then we went to 14,000 homes on the
Right,
market.
because it crashed and
And then
everybody's
it like
dumping.
so we started
mm.
at a normal level of inventory and
No,
then
I don't doubt
we
that. Don't doubt
flooded.
that. And that makes
Yeah,
sense. I'm just
but
saying
now
there's
we're so
we're in a historic time is all I'm saying. You have,
I completely agree.
and this gets back to my initial argument where if this were normal times, I would be saving every dollar I have and waiting. If this were
If you're
2007,
an low income earner, absolutely.
well, not even that. So I I have a friend of a friend, right? I went to Vegas with this guy. He has a degree in
Thanks for the
mechanical.
invite.
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
in
what the fuck, man?
2000. The dude was like 30 at the time. He had a degree in mechanical engineering and economics, right? He said, right now I'm buying everything, right? I have no dollar on the sideline, right? Because stocks are,
2013.
yeah,
Wow.
stocks are historically low. Housing market's very low in terms of pricing. He retired like 5 years ago. He was
Yeah, oh for
like
sure.
40, right? Because
Yeah.
of what he was able to do with all the money he had on the sideline, the amount of money he was able to make off of that, right? And that's what I'm saying. If today were normal times like that, in which you could depend on
Well, that's not a
history,
normal time.
no, it was because historically,
2013.
no, seven, right?
Oh, this is 2007 when he
He
did
wasn't buying
this.
anything then, stocks, housing, anything. He predicted, right,
Right, predicted.
that in his mind, he was like that dude uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I
that
know who
made
you're
a
talking
movie
about.
on. I can't think of
Yes,
his
yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Dan's
I know
laughing.
who the
No,
guy
I
from
know
The
who I
Big
watched
Short,
that movie.
Michael
Yes.
Lebowski or something.
No,
Yes,
no,
yeah.
no, not him. The other dude that
Oh,
had to he bet on the real estate market crashing.
Yeah, from
I
The
think
Big
that was
Short,
that
the
guy.
guy from The
Yeah.
Big
Yeah,
Short.
the Big Short. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
thought it was Michael Lebowski.
no, that's not his name.
Oh.
Anyhow, I don't think that's his name. But anyhow,
That guy.
he was
Yeah,
kind of like him, right? But those were normal times, right? Where there was not really only what I'm saying to you, Joey, is was 7 times the average income pricing. That only happened one other time in history, and the markets all crashed, right? And that was in '53.
Michael Burry was his
There
name.
you go. Yeah. Um, anyhow, if those were the times now, and our debt was very low, comparatively speaking, right now that's a huge black cloud, that debt, right? And how they deal with that. Um,
For sure it is.
so it wasn't like that in 2007. Times are different now. There is no historical outside of for the United States, there is no historical example of this, what we're in right now. There is in Rome, right? They had the exact same scenario. That didn't turn out well for them. But again, it's different times
Well,
now. We're so connected worldwide, and everyone's so dependent on the U.S. It wasn't like that
for
when
sure.
Rome fell. So that's what I'm
Well,
saying. I don't think you go all in on anything right now, personally.
okay.
But you go
Yeah.
on in on a lot of different things, no?
Yeah, and some of that should be cash,
So
literal
I
cash,
definitely think that if
or
you're
cash like,
the
right?
the
Money
average
market fund.
guy,
Sorry.
if you're oh no, you're fine. Yeah, if you're the average guy, come like straight, the market is unpredictable. First of all, it always is, but especially today, the market's unpredictable. You probably shouldn't be doing too much with your money besides trying to save it, and most people can't save.
Mm-hmm.
But so for 100%, I think for maybe guys like us, to where, if one thing goes wrong, it's not going to put us upside down. And so I'm kind of more so speaking to guys like us, like you definitely should have cash on the sideline for opportunities that come your
But not
way.
actual cash, right? Not cash sitting in a savings account earning nothing. That's not what I mean by cash. Cash like,
But they're earning like
Yeah,
5% now.
but
I
I,
think it's
I would,
four.
not
I have,
savings.
I have
Yeah.
cash like that, like
No,
emergency fund,
I could show you mine.
other stuff,
you get five. Well, I'm sorry, Joey. You get 5% in a standard savings
Like
account.
4.9.
high yield savings. It's in the
Yeah.
fours. Yeah.
High yield
Yeah.
savings.
Capital One, 316, high yield savings. I think I get like 4 or
That's the
4.25.
one I have, yeah.
Yeah. So,
And
okay. But
Robinhood too.
anyways,
If you have Robinhood Gold, that's
yeah.
like 4.9 or something.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you should definitely have a portion of your, wealth in cash for buying more stuff, and there's times when I have, a decent amount of cash because buying real estate takes a good amount of cash,
Yep.
and so that's, you should, I think if you're going to invest today into like a real estate thing or even into stocks, you should be prepared that it's going to cost you money. Well, I guess for real estate specifically, that it's going to go down. You might have some tenant issue. Like you should be prepared for a rainy day.
Oof.
And if you're not prepared,
Speak no such
don't
things,
do it.
Joey.
Don't.
Don't bring that kind
Yeah.
of negativity around here.
But I do think, again, I know, we're young. We have a
Thank
lot
you.
more time on our hands. So I think for guys like us, high income earners, we can afford a rainy day. You should be buying. I'm just not too much on I, not even Warren Buffett can predict the market. Like Chris, like that example that you gave, it's very uncommon, and that guy probably couldn't do it again. That's great that he was able to retire, but he took a big risk of investing all
Sure.
his dollars in that time. That's like Elon Musk risky status.
Mhm.
I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would do that during that time. I would rather. I think you can't go belly up. Like that's great that he won, but he also could have gone belly up. It's hard to go belly up if you
Well,
are investing for the long term.
at that
That's all
time,
I'm saying.
that's not true, right? There wasn't the inflationary pressures on cash that there are now.
Right.
What
but
is not true? What are you saying that's not true?
You're not going to go belly up saving at that time.
He wasn't
Right.
saving.
No, he was. He was
He-
saving
he-
all until
I thought you said he
the markets
invested every
crashed. Yeah,
penny of his dollar.
he did in 2013. Prior to that, all he was doing was
That's
saving.
what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's okay. So I think you've gone back and forth a couple. So he did buy in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just saying that is that's a level of high risk. He put all his eggs in on that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And not holding back cash.
And that's great. Dude, that's awesome. Like he timed it very well.
Well, and that goes
I
back
would
to the
not
conviction.
give that example to everybody because he also could have gone belly up. I mean, he could be working at McDonald's today,
Sure.
And that goes
but
back to the
he did a
example
great
of,
job. I mean, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Retired at 40, dude. Props to
like
him.
that.
He had the balls to do it.
Probably the amount of studying and conviction he needed to do that is not the average person's. The average people don't follow news. They don't do
Right.
homework, so they're not. That's not really advice for them unless they want to go all in and like start doing homework and being convicted. I'm amazed how many people invest in shit they know nothing about. Like
Right.
the majority.
Yeah.
The majority. I used to be like this too until very recently. It's like
Yeah.
you're doing Bitcoin because everyone says, "Do you know how blockchain even work?" Like, do you?
Right.
How much? No.
Yeah.
Doge. Do you even know what that is? No. Some of these meme
Yeah, the
stocks.
Department of Government Efficiency. I
Yeah,
know what it
well,
is.
now that's something else. Like people don't even know what they're
Yeah.
invested in. So you can't, like, most people don't have that conviction, and that's why they sell the minute it goes down. They
You're
panic
right.
Mhm.
sell because they're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Whereas if you actually did your homework, you're gonna, when it goes down, you'll buy more. Actually,
Exactly.
now you could still be wrong, but you have to
Yes.
trust in your brain at that point. Like, did you do your homework?
Yes.
Do you know what you're doing?
But even I guess what I'm also saying, so I'm alt risky, but you could do. I guess this is what everybody should consider is that even by doing the homework, especially in the stock market, like even by unless you're buying like an index for like the S&P
Yeah,
500,
there you don't
you
need to
could
do homework.
buy. Like I'm really big on Tesla. I'm really big.
Yeah,
I don't think it's, in 20 years, I don't think it's going to go belly up, or I think it's going to be huge gains for
right, right.
especially the next 4 years. But I could be wrong,
Yeah, or
and it could go
Kamala could have
down.
won, and
Exactly,
he would have
exactly,
had headwinds for the next decade,
for sure.
right? And then would you have sold when you panic? It comes back
Right,
to like conviction. How much do you know
right.
about Optimus? How much
That's
do you
right.
know about their AI capability? It just goes back to you doing the homework, the studying.
Yeah,
That's what separates, like, I think the people who actually do well versus those who don't is, go figure, it's the effort you put into your information. Like,
You mean you have to put effort into things?
unless you do like Warren Buffett said, just buy. He said most people should just buy the SPY and not think
he
about it
Yeah.
he did say, yeah, he
because he
continues to say
knows
that,
most people don't do the
and he's
homework. Like,
I think he's right for 98% of Americans.
yeah,
I actually do. I actually people in the world. Like
Yeah.
I think that's right.
yeah,
There's no fees. It's still pretty dang good return long term,
So those
and
2% are, what is it called? Professional investment. Like, you don't have to be a venture capitalist, but if you
yeah.
are going against if you are putting your money somewhere else besides the SPY, you better be a professional investor about the companies you're researching.
Yeah.
Or be prepared to lose the money.
Pelosi
Yes.
needs an index fund.
She
Well, that's called
does.
corruption. That's That's, you can play that
She's
game
10
too.
times better than Buffett. Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
want to
And,
read poor Nancy's almanac, not poor
and
Charles.
10x spy.
When is she coming out with
Isn't
her
that
Kathy Wood
nuts?
hedge fund?
Did
When
she
she's
really have a walker?
Yeah.
Wait, is that I didn't know if somebody
Yeah.
like
She didn't fall over.
What was the
That's
walker
an
for?
Okay.
AI
She had a walker in, was it the Senate or the House or
Congress. Yeah.
Congress? Thank you.
Why her bags got too heavy?
No,
Got
she broke
the-
her hip.
Oh, she did. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That
She-
was funny. Just
She loaded up too much.
Uh-huh.
What stocks did she buy? I don't even. We should be following.
she's on
her.
Nvidia. She's actually really big on, I think, isn't her biggest single one is Nvidia?
Wow.
I think, yeah, I actually have an app that tracks what she does.
And
But
yeah, all the legislation
So-
she
so
puts
for
forth
this
is
year-
like anti all of this.
But she's no longer
Right.
the
She's
head of
not a power
Congress.
broker anymore.
That's
so
right.
she has little power now.
She's not a power broker anymore. But for a good
Yeah,
8
she's
years
just
or
buying more
12, she
bags.
was running.
No, like 20.
Solid 2 decades, you can
Yeah.
make out like a bandit.
Literally. And
And
break
she
your
did.
hip,
She did. She's worth like $250 million.
Was she
which
pardoned,
is nuts.
or was that a deep red pill like conspiracy that she was
What?
pardoned by Joe?
I don't know. I saw something about that, but I hadn't
Interesting.
investigated.
Yeah,
I know his son was.
But yeah, for future
Well,
crimes too.
Let's look it up right now.
For a future crime.
Yeah, Minority Report. Like, hey, anything in the future you might discover, it's like you're pardoned.
So what do you guys? So okay, Trump takes office in 11 days. Like as far as the overall
I want a
market
hat
for
because
everything,
Chris was on the fear porn side on that one.
what do you?
On what side?
Okay, do you
On
think
Trump
that
not
there's going
getting
to
sworn
be?
in.
Okay.
No. Do I need
never
to explain
thought.
this for a 14th time?
Yes.
Chris,
So-
Actually, do you think something's going to
I
happen on that day?
wanted Trump to win,
it's
but
not
I
about
thought
your
there was
desire.
I thought there was a possibility that the establishment would not allow it. And I said I thought those odds were like 30%, but I'm willing to make a bet.
I'll take
and
those
I'll be
kind of
happy
bets
to
all
lose.
day.
I'll be happy to
all
lose.
day long.
And I said I'm happy to lose. Here's
I
your
want a
hat.
nice hat out of it. It's gonna drop soon. I'll get it by April.
It's going to drop soon.
No,
It's
like
from
brand
Louis
new. It didn't
Vuitton.
come out.
So
Close
if
enough, close
my
enough.
desire of Trump winning did not happen, at least I got something out of it. Happy to pay the
Well, no,
$100
I got something out of it.
to lose.
You lost.
Yeah. No, I
Oh,
won
dang.
too. I won too.
How? Oh, by
'Cause
being
That's
an
Trump
one way to.
won.
American?
He
You would
agrees
have
but
won that without
disagrees.
doing the bet.
But Trump won. No, because I wanted to hedge my bet.
Hey,
Nice.
I agree but disagree, right?
Exactly, dude. That Chris, I love that. That's your new tagline. The man that
You can
agrees
do
but
both.
disagrees.
It just means you're not 100% committed to the statement.
Yeah, well,
I
you
think
need
it
to
was a
start being
foolish bet.
100%
I think it was a
commitment.
foolish bet, but I think you. I feel like that wasn't really a bet. Chris just
Right.
wanted to
It's
be
a silly
nice and
bet.
give me a gift. I
Nice.
think, and he wanted to
Aw.
make it
No.
exciting.
Guys, that's
Thank you,
cute.
man. I appreciate
That's not at all why I made the bet.
Okay, so
Well, thank you.
is
very
the
nice of you.
inauguration, is anything going to happen that day? Like
Hell
bad?
no. You want to do another
Okay.
one? I'll take
Nice.
these
Let's
bets
go,
all day
Dan.
long.
Chris?
That riff is over. It was never that bad to begin with.
So
Well, no. I'm not necessarily saying only that, Dan. I'm saying anything. Like, could there be another attempt to, assassinate? Like,
The
is something
Wildfires in DC.
the fact that
stops,
the fact that he was nominated at all diminishes what power the establishment has,
okay?
in my opinion.
Okay.
Now, do I think that they may try to crash the economy while he's president? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think anything is going to happen in inauguration, though. If I were him, I would not have JD Vance anywhere near me until after
Got
I'm
it.
sworn in.
But he may crash the economy himself to
Wait.
reduce
He could,
the
but
deficit.
Chris,
he could.
why do you say that? Why not JD Vance near him? Just, I think I know what you're saying, but I want to make sure I know what you're
Because I
saying.
think they're just as fearful of him as Trump,
Got
personally.
it. So
maybe
have
even
them
more
away from each
so.
other for safety is what you're
Because
saying.
if they take
Okay.
him out, you get JD Vance.
Which I'd be happy with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I would too.
think the powers that be, have lost. This like ambiguous cloud, it has lost a tremendous amount of power in the last year. I think there is no they. I think if the economy crashes,
Them.
is Trump doing it not on purpose, but reducing the deficit. You don't do that cleanly
Well,
without
Right.
things breaking. Like
have
For sure.
So real quick, because I need to get off here in about 10 minutes, but yeah. Like 2 minutes. 2 minutes would be what she said, but
Hurry
that's
it up.
besides the point. So
Dude,
I need to get off in about 10 minutes. Yeah.
we did go through this in the 40s, right? 40s through the 80s. It's deflationary. That's the one time that we encountered this, and that's how it was handled, right? So high inflation offsets the value of the dollar, diminishes the debt, easier to repay, right? That will be the play.
Right.
Watch.
And China's
That will
gonna
be
have
the
to take it.
play.
China's gonna have to take it.
It'll be deflationary.
Right.
Sorry. It'll be
Inflationary.
deleveraging, inflationary.
And that's China's gonna pay the bill, is what you're saying.
Well, no, we'll pay it too. How's China going to pay it?
They own all
Their
the
products.
treasuries. They own all the treasuries.
No, actually, they sold half back.
They still own a lot.
Yeah, they own a fair amount, but it's only like $1 trillion. They own two. They only own one.
And they're
the
too
primary
dependent on
owner. The primary owners are banks
Yeah.
of debt and the individual. I own quite a bit of debt, government debt.
Like, what are you getting? 4%?
Like 4.5.
Hey, get
Sell
that in
it.
Robinhood,
Go to
man.
the high yield savings account.
We're
I
helping
would
the
not want
government.
to own American debt. Screw that.
Yeah, screw that.
Well, it's going to be, I would assume, higher sooner, but we'll see.
Maybe. Yeah, you got a good point. But then so do the high interest savings.
Here,
Go
let me tell you, dude, I've been getting
It's
between 4 to
4.5,
4.5.
on Robinhood.
Yeah, for like 3 years consistently. Now it goes down when rates go down. It goes down
it
to like
fluctuates,
1% or so,
yeah.
or a half
Sure.
a percent.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're taking that arbitrage, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they can get, they're going to give you less because they got to make a profit too.
Of course, they need to make a spread. Yes, as they should. We all need to make a spread. You know.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
I like that convenient app. I'll pay a fee for it. You know.
Yeah.
That's the fee you're paying.
yeah. Well, then I can see that I can wire remotely up to $500,000 from that account from my computer.
Mhm.
Freaking Wells Fargo, I have to go to an effing bank to do that. Now they want me to sit and make an appointment,
Yeah.
and it's the same fee. So buying real estate or wiring money above 25,000 or whatever that you can't do online through Wells Fargo, Capital One, it's super easy to do.
I have it, and I didn't realize that. So that's good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah, all the real estate I bought in the last 4 years, all the wiring came from that. I didn't have to go to the bank, which is so
Interesting.
convenient.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so the rest of this year, but I know you have to, or somebody has to hop
Predictions.
off
We
here,
can end it with
Chris.
predictions. Maybe.
Yeah, let's do that. So what does 2025 have for us?
I have a good one. I told Chris about it earlier.
I have no
Okay.
idea.
The rise of socialism in the U.S. Like,
Oh, more?
so socialism and
Oh.
wokeness will be decoupled, but more because of all the dislocations with high-paying jobs, getting replaced by AI or outsourced overseas. You're already seeing it. There's
Hmm.
going to be a increased appeal to socialism from citizens in this country, and it will have nothing to do with wokeism. They'll be two totally separate things.
Interesting.
I don't think
Okay.
we'll ever become socialists, but there's going to be
Okay.
a large, and they're going to
Group.
rationalize it to say,
Hmm.
and they're going to feel like that's their
Yeah.
only option. Because what do you like? You've been a PhD your whole life, and
Oh,
now all of a sudden you're not needed anymore. What are you going to do? It's not like anyone else going to hire you. You're going to take a lower job. Like a lot of these guys not going to do that. And so they're going to grab towards government for safety net. And that'll be the
Oh,
next 30 years, I think, 30 to 50 years, like something to watch out for.
and what do
hmm.
you think of that, Joey?
I mean, so that's more of a long-term question, or yeah. I mean, unfortunately, it's ex since COVID, the acceleration between the rich and the poor went exponential, and it seems like it's going that way
No
more in the
slowing.
future.
And it's very much related to what we opened this with real estate. Those same PhDs educated I told you about that have been lifetime renters, if they would
Mm,
at least just bought a house,
I know, dude, man.
they would have
Gosh,
been okay. But instead,
right,
now they're gonna demonize the homeowner,
right,
especially the investors. Oh, this person's
yeah,
got 7 homes. I don't even have one. And I went
right.
to like,
That's unfair. Yeah,
Oxford and
right.
it's not fair. Like, what's government doing for me? Blah blah blah. These are just some
Right. It's somebody
YouTubers.
else's fault, not their decision making. So yeah,
Yep.
I do think that. I think these next 4 years, I don't I don't necessarily think that it's anything that's on my radar to like be concerned with. I think as culture moves forward, yeah, 10, 20, 30 years for sure. It's something I don't think that we'll get to there because it's just not American. We have freedom, supposedly,
There's
freedom
a
of
lot of things
speech.
that are
We
not
have
American going
property.
on.
That's true.
There's a
Property
lot.
rights, stuff like that. So, but I think these next 4 years,
No,
I
I'm not saying
think,
socialism will win. I'm just saying it's gonna
right.
get
The
stronger.
Yeah.
That movement's gonna get
I
stronger.
still don't understand, but that it'll be separated from like the woke.
Wokeism.
To me, I think
Wokeism's not
those are the
taken
same.
seriously. It's the same as of last year.
Okay.
It's that fell
So
flat on.
I would be intrigued to see how that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe that's how they try to get it accepted. That no, we're not woke. This is just this is
This
just
is
a right,
legitimate. We're not
kind
trying
of
to cut
thing.
off our penises. This is like
Well,
legitimate. We
which
don't
all
have
of them have probably have done, but
we don't have a place
um,
to live.
but
That's
I
different.
think yeah, next 4 years, I think rates are going to stay a little bit higher, but I still think that they might go down to 6. But
Wow.
I think I mean, dude, rates are now at 7.15. I just don't know
Okay, so
how
this is a good one for you. End of year, where are rates for real estate? Right now I'm paying 6.7. They're already at 7 something, right?
6.5,
So what do you think by the end of 25 where
six
they're
and a
gonna
half.
That's what you think? Okay.
I pray they're lower. I keep losing bets on. I keep losing money betting on rates. Don't do this.
I would take the over on 6.5. You want to make a bet?
No, I don't. I will not bet. I've lost to my father-in-law like 3 times.
It would just be a
I'm
half.
sick of paying money to my father-in-law. But I think it's going to be about 6.5. If it's lower than that, that's great. I hope it's. I mean, some professionals I've heard yesterday by end of year will be 6 or like 5.875. That would be awesome, dude. I mean, the economy would be roaring. Not only do people in real estate need
Mm,
rates low, but dude, the consumer does. And companies, when they borrow money and they, go to like they need rates low too. So
but
I
it's
think that if rates
yeah.
go low, we're going to be in another
But if rates go low,
huge bull
inflation goes
run.
through the roof, and all these
I know.
unemployed government workers are gonna be struggling for like groceries. They already are, and they're employed. What happens when they're unemployed?
Yeah, screw him. Okay, I don't mean that.
That's
I
Joey
don't mean
Short.
that.
Hey, Joey
But
Finro.
well,
What's
you
your
know,
email? The
yeah, I'm gonna give him your number. Yeah.
jfizzle at
Um,
hotmail.com.
well, this I'm now gonna create that. That they should, go find. Yeah, sometimes you have to switch. I mean, dude, a lot. Look at all the people that were in the travel, like the travel agent.
Oh well,
There's
yeah,
none of them. What
but
did all these
that's
10, hundred
but that's
thousand people
private
do?
industry. I mean,
True.
the
Okay, true.
government sector is insane. Like these people do not know how to be on their own.
Well, they're gonna have to figure it out. I'm sorry. What,
Take a course. Maybe
you're
we
not
should
a
start a course.
2-year-old. You're not. Yeah.
Unemployed
Yes.
government worker renaissance.
Guys, we should
Like
do it. We should do it.
what to do after.
Yeah. No, we should.
Not a bad course. We should tell
Chris, what do you
Monica.
think?
Well-
Monica would be all for it.
If I had to bet, because
Chris
I don't
ready to
want.
unplug his computer. Fuck you.
Well, no, I think Trump's too much of a wild card.
True.
To really predict what's going to happen. But if I had to bet on something, it would be implementing yield control.
Implementing what?
Yield control. So allowing
Yield.
the government debt controlled artificially how much they're paying interest on that, right? Which they've done before. And last time was in the 50s, I believe. So what they do is they say, okay, the rest of the market we're decoupled from, right? Our central bank will buy our own debt, right? And we're going to print our way out of this mess, which just causes exponential growth in inflation.
Yeah.
If I had to bet on something, it would be that, but I'm not confident in that happening either.
I think you have a good point, and I think that how he was able to make rates go down during COVID is they printed money and buying mortgage-backed securities, which then lowered the rates. Honestly, I think that he's a smart man, a little bit like to make a decision even if it's wrong, but he's a smart man. He wants the rates to go down because it's going to crazy boom the economy like in 2020 and 21 or 21. He's going to want that again, and that would be my concern. I just don't know how you can lower rates and not have inflation go absolutely, out of this
go
world.
insane.
Well,
So-
again, that's where yield control plays a factor, right? The problem is they have to buy their own debt.
I see.
And the way they offload that is to the consumer, and it does cause inflation.
Okay.
Consumers.
Well, Chris,
And-
why don't you just
yeah.
buy more? Then it's done.
I'm
Maybe we
not
could
that
start a
confident.
grocery store in 25. Start a little mother's market.
Yeah,
Why do we call it Father's Market?
Father's market. The patriarchy market.
ooh, I like it. I actually
Or-
like
or-
that
or-
name.
That would
or
be
how
No,
about-
I like that name.
How about Daddies? Let's
No,
do Daddies.
the patriarchy market. I like that.
Daddies. Yeah.
The patriarchy corner store.
I like
Oh
that.
man. Here at Daddy's, we're a locally sourced.
Not a bad
Anyways.
business. The little grocery
Yeah.
stores have small margins, but
3% supposedly.
Dang.
they put their white label generic brands in.
So
to
they're in volume.
control prices.
So they're volume. Okay,
Mhm.
got it. So it's as much 3% as possible. Okay.
Unless you're like Sprouts, I mean they are on the higher end.
Probably
Isn't
Whole
Whole
Foods,
Foods?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
demo that shops there are not going to be
Oh.
unemployed government workers.
Right.
Nor
Yes,
are they
the-
in areas where there's shoplifting too, which is a dramatic impact on
Interesting.
typical grocery stores.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, no bets that you want to make? You're still feeling
Daddy's
confident,
Market. Yes.
Chris, you
No,
want to
I-
make another bet on?
I'm not
Impulse?
confident in anything.
You've been beat too much, Joey.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
I don't know.
Zero.
I don't
Well,
blame you.
can-
I would
So,
stop
but
too.
hold on, Chris. I gave a prediction. You have to give a prediction of what rates are going to do.
Oh yeah, where's yours?
And how about this?
Well,
Let's
it
give
would
2%.
it would correlate to what I just said. It would be I would say the over unders play 8% by 2020.
I'll take
So
the
you're
under on
hedging
that.
that it would likely be at 8% or higher.
mortgage.
If I had to bet,
Your
I'm not confident
standard
in that.
30-year mortgage.
Okay,
rate,
yeah,
right?
but yeah,
I
30
could
year,
see that.
you're
I
saying
wouldn't
most
take.
likely.
I wouldn't take the under on that either. I would take the under.
Well, I
on
hope you guys are
8.5.
hiring at that time.
I'd
Like
take
I
the
said,
under
I'll
on
write checks.
8.5. I'll take the under on 8.5, but 8 is too close to. I wouldn't touch it.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not that far from
And
it.
we'd have to
Right.
define the bet. Is that what the number of the year ends on, or any time in the year does it hit that you win? Because
Yeah, it'd be any time in the year.
No, then I definitely don't.
Ah,
I don't want 8. I'll take 8.5, maybe. I think it
Well,
takes
dang.
I think the
I
worst.
better
Okay, how about
start
this bet?
saving.
The
I think if you
worst it
survive this
gets,
year,
it
you'll be
does not
good.
go over 10. That's the worst.
Oh
it
no, I'll
would
take
get.
the definite under on
No,
that.
no. I'm saying it wouldn't get any worse. You'd have to take the over on that.
For
That's
25?
the worst it would get by the end of 2025, the first day of
10?
2026.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take the under on that.
I think it's possible, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, I'm not taking that bet.
Well, I wouldn't take that bet either, but
Huh,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. I think that's the worst
Joey,
it could
like
possibly
as
get.
a realtor, I think if you survive this year, you're good. This is the choppy year. This is like the test.
I think
You know, I
2026
actually
is the worst
disagree.
year.
I think last year was
Nah.
the
This
worst.
is no. There's too much uncertainty with these guys and what they're gonna
With
do. They're
Trump?
coming in slashing.
Trump?
But they're coming in
Oh.
slashing.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good in the long run.
I would think that would be good in the short run.
I don't know, man. I think
Look
the
at
short
all.
term's been
This
priced
is
in when he
my. I guess
won, and
this
then
is
it's
what
over.
gives my. This is what my confidence is. Okay, so we've already seen what has happened with Trump.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be that much more surprised, in my personal opinion. 2,
But
the
that was like $4
economy
trillion
has.
later, though, or earlier.
Okay, true. Well, even before that, he was doing fine. Before COVID, he was doing fine. There was no money. Inflation was tamed. Unemployment was very low. Stock market was high. Interest rates were normal at 4.2%. So actually, I will take that.
Hmm.
But we've already seen what has happened. Now, the last thing I'll say is we've already seen what the market is feeling. What has the stock market done since Trump has won? Exponential growth in the last month and a half. I mean, literally exponential.
Until recently.
So correct. Yeah.
I think the excitement
but we've had a
was
lot of effing gain. Tesla almost doubled.
Well, yeah, that's because Elon's on the cabinet, basically.
I know. But like here, let's look at the S&P. What the S&P, because how long have we known that Trump has been elected? Is it
November, what was it? I was in Chicago doing this. November 4th? What's election day?
I can't go to that on here. Dang it.
November November. November
It was
7th.
Tuesday.
That's
Oh,
Tuesday,
yeah.
And
November 6th, I think.
I
No.
was really
luckily,
fucked
you
up.
guys made it
Fifth?
back okay.
Yeah, remember that? Chris was worried. Oh,
Yeah.
I
come on,
said,
man.
wait. No, Joey said 10%. I said like 3%.
We got receipts, and I thought both of you guys were ridiculous. I was like, we're at
But
the
it made for a
Seasons,
good
bro.
video. Yeah.
Of course, and that's what I think. Aha, Joey.
Aha.
That is the YouTube secret to success with all these people fear porn every day about something else.
Yeah.
Makes for a good
Seriously. We need to start every video like that. Because then we
November
can
5th.
have the name be that.
video.
I
will
that
take the
actually would be a
under.
funny channel. That would be a
Listen,
funny channel.
you
For
ever
fun,
bring
like
me-
with any little topic.
If anyone ever wants to bring me a fear porn bet, I will always take the under. Once in a lifetime, I'll be wrong.
Ooh, I
and
like
then we're all
this.
fucked
Chris.
anyways. We're
Okay,
all-
guys, this is something. So Chris is the one that's the you take the opposite, and then like I can be in the middle.
Chris was talking
I-
Hotel Rwanda and shit. We have the receipts.
I like
No,
numbers.
I was not saying 3% risk
I'll
is
find the
not
clip.
You know what?
Hotel Rwanda.
You brought that up.
I actually said 10.
It's in
You're
the
right.
realm of possibilities.
Well, so is like another planet colliding with us right now.
No,
Right.
that's not in the
Yeah.
realm of
I'll take the under
possibilities.
Well,
on that too.
that's 10%.
That's actually 100
A
if given
planet?
enough
No.
time. No,
A planet? No.
A
A,
planet
large
colliding
comet?
with
A
Yes.
star.
That's 100% if given enough time.
I don't even know if
You'll
that's
never
true.
lose that bet.
I don't know if that's true.
It's true. It's true.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
Huh.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think that is true.
You cannot prove it
yeah.
wrong with math. It's proven 100% accurate with math.
Yeah, in the past.
Is it?
Right?
Oh,
Yes,
in the that
because
is it has happened.
You're basically
Yes.
giving the person you're betting against infinity time.
Yeah, but you
So,
can't
like,
collect. Neither of you can collect on that bet.
So I'll make that bet. I don't
like,
can't
No
collect.
one lives infinitely.
And that's the only bet
Yeah.
where you agree and disagree at the same time and win. And on that note, we're out because Chris and I got to jump on another
Yeah. You
Zoom.
guys gotta jump off.
an endless
Hey,
one.
gentlemen,
Yeah,
good to see you
just
guys.
Jump off. Thank you guys. Like,
Awesome, guys. Like, subscribe.
comment, share.
All
and
right,
follow
have a good
this
one, Joey.
Fizzle guy right here.
Hey, see you guys. I'll leave.
Bye-bye.